Hey everyone, it's Melanie here with Melanie Smith Stamps, and today we have a tutorial video with the Spellbinders Stencil of the Month kit. But before we jump in, I wanted to let you know that Spellbinders is giving away brand new tote bags. I've got one here for everyone that gets a deluxe caboodle of the month club this month. So it says die cutting is my superpower, which of course it is for me. So I thought this was gorgeous. It's really large. I believe it's like 17 by 14 or so. And I just love the flowers. It kind of matches my lilac shimmer. But I just wanted to share that with you. Anyone that's already a deluxe caboodle member or anyone who is joining as a deluxe caboodle member, we should get one of those in their box. So before we get going, I just wanted to jump on in and say that. And now let's get crafting. All right, guys, today we are going to do two stenciled tutorials. The first stencil is a single layer stencil of floating hearts. Now, in this month's stencil club, you're getting actually 5 stencils. The first one is this one here, which is a single stencil. Then the second one is actually a 4-layer stencil, and that one gets a little tricky. So I thought a tutorial was in order this month. And I hope you like the layout of how I'm doing this video, because I really thought showing you the actual steps and then the final card at the end was more beneficial than actually like gluing the card together. So I wanted to just do this along with you and explain exactly what I'm doing. Now I'm using Altenew's Puffy Heart fresh dye ink here. And the first thing I'm doing is starting in the middle, or starting from the bottom. I've inked up about halfway, and then with a very dry brush, I'm brushing towards the top there. Now, that's very dry. I want it to be just a soft, soft pink there at the top. And then I'm blending there in the middle. And notice when I stencil, I go both directions. Now, I'm using the Altenew blender brushes, which are my favorite because of the flat tops. I really love the detail I get through the stencil with the flat stencil brushes. Now you can use your actual blender brushes like with the brush tops, the other styles as well, and still get a similar look. So don't be scared to use what you have. I just wanted to explain what I was using in the photo. Now here I'm going in with the darker color, and I'm coming up from the bottom and just adding that dark. Oh, I made a mistake here. At the top, the first color was Rose Quartz. This one is Puffy Heart. So the darkest one is the Puffy Heart. The lighter one is the Rose Quartz. So I'm blending here in the middle just for that center section so that it all blends nicely. Now, the reason I had to use tape along with my sticky mat here is because my stencil is as wide as my paper. So I did go ahead and use the tape along with my sticky mat. Now here is the finished ombre technique, and here is the completed card. Now let's jump into the second technique. This one is going to take quite a bit longer. That first one was just a real simple ombre. But for those that are just starting out with stenciling, I wanted to show that simplicity because it is very simple to stencil. And I even showed this 4-layer one to my husband, and he was like, "You made that? That's paper? That's not like pattern paper?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "And this is easy to do. You just have to take your time to do it." And the sticky mat makes all the difference. Now I'm using the 9 by 13 Altenew sticky mat here, and it holds both my paper and my stencil in place, so I do not have to worry about tape for either of them. Now the other one I had to use the tape because my stencil was the same size as my paper. But this one overhangs, so I don't need either. Now I decided to go bold and go black here. And I'm going in both directions to make sure I have a really, really good coverage on these diamonds. I really thought these diamonds were really like impactful, and I wanted to go black and pink. I just thought that was really nice color combo. It used to be my daughter's favorite color combo, actually. So pull that back and just look at that sharpness I got there. So the second one is also diamonds, but they're going to stagger. So you could choose to do this in the same color, or you can alternate colors. There's lots of opportunities to change things up. Now I'm showing you there with my hands that I'm looking at all of the points in all of the different directions when lining the stencils up. I want to make sure those tips are all touching. That way it's a cohesive look when I pull the stencil up. And it's okay to take your time with that. For case of, speeding up the video, I have sped this up so that you're not here all day. But, I did take my time lining everything up. And it's worth it in the end to just give yourself a little grace and take your time with your placement. If you have to pull it back up and lay it back down again, that's okay. It's the finished project that we're worried about, not necessarily how long it takes to get there. Enjoy the process, in other words. So I'm going in both directions on each of these shapes and just giving it a really good coat of this puffy heart pink. It's really nice hot pink. So we're going for 4 colors on this stencil. So we're mixing up the pinks, and we got 3 different pinks we're using. So I really like the way this one turns out. And I'm so glad I was able to do it for you all on screen so you could see, because the next layer is a little tricky. And that's the main reason I wanted to do it for you. Look at this. You could stop right there, couldn't you? It's gorgeous. I love it. Just those diamonds. You could just use those diamonds on anything. You don't even have to go any farther. You could stop right there. I just love it. It's like an Argyle, It's cool. It makes me think of a playing card. So I love, what I'm showing you here is these are directional. So you want to be careful with the way you line this up. If you notice there, it does not line up with the tops of the hearts in the one direction. So make sure you know which direction your stencils are going in by carefully looking at the 2 layers together and then starting out with your first one. So I'm lining it up, and I'm, again, being super careful here because that's going to make all the difference with everything cohesive. See, I'm lifting it up, I'm moving it around. I want everything to overlap a little bit on the edges so we don't have any big white gaps in between our colors. And it does overlap just a tad. Like, you should see a tiny sliver of the other color on either side of the stencil. I mean, it's barely noticeable, but when you're looking through the holes, you should be able to line that up really well. So I'm going in with the lighter pink now. This is rose quartz. And we're going to just fill in all those little notches. We're going to go lighter with those because I want to go darker with the hearts. So we're going to do the darkest on the hearts in the center. I just love how many layers this has. It's just really neat. And it does look like pattern paper when you're done. Like a really cheerful pattern paper. But just think, you could do this in reds and blacks. You could do this in blues. You could do this in, it's not just Valentine's. You could leave all of the heart stuff and the lines out and make it any color for any season. It's very versatile. And the hearts, I mean, you could do rainbow hearts. You could make it a whole rainbow background. I mean, there's so many things you can do with something like this. So pull this one up and see. Okay, so now we have the 3 layers. Now we just need our little hearts in the center. So because we had lined that up previously, this is going to perfectly line up. Now, if we hadn't, we may have ran into some trouble, and we could have started inking in it, be upside down. So I'm glad we lined that up first, and we got it going in the right direction. So I'm going to take my time here. Just make sure everything's good. And then I'm going to seal it around the edges. and stick it to the sticky mat. And that seals it so nicely when you have your paper cut to a size where you can just seal it down like that. And then I'll get the purple wine color. Again, these are fresh dye inks from Altenew, and they are my favorite. I am collecting the whole collection, a little at a time. My Black Friday spending was all on Altenew's inks. I even got 2 more stamp and storage rotators or carousels. And I am now an affiliate for Stamp and Storage, so I do have that affiliate down below if you are organizing your craft room. I always have all of my affiliates linked down below if you're looking for any specific company you're shopping with. This is the finished project. What do y'all think, guys? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now let's see the finished card. I simply just put a sentiment on it, and that sentiment is actually a BetterPress sentiment from this month's club, glimmered up and framed.